6 months ago, and I emailed asking if I could please come, and I just wanted to sit in the audience and watch to learn more about Cambodia, and they said, sure, you can come. You'll be doing your talk on the first morning. I was like, oh, talk, okay. So I'm going to talk to you for just 3 minutes about the importance of why you need to try to make more mistakes. Because everybody here, no matter what, everybody has something that you would like to do, but that you're scared to do. And the reason you're scared to do it is because you think that you'll fail horribly and everything will go wrong. So I'm here to tell you that it's important to make those mistakes, and you have to try to for very scientific reasons, like this. Number one, learning. The way that you learn is by making mistakes in the same way that the way that muscles are built. What this means is that when you are in a gym, for example, and you are lifting some kind of weight that's too strong for you to lift, and you get that kind of quivering and you can't lift it, what's actually happening is the little muscle fibers inside, some of them are tearing, literally tearing, and over the next 2 days the muscle fibers repair themselves. Every time they repair themselves a little stronger and a little bigger to adapt for future use. So, like there's this saying, no pain, no gain, and it's the same with the brain. So please take a second and take 10 seconds and look at these two sets of words. Okay. In multiple tests, they found that people remembered the second set of words 3 times as much as they remembered the first set of words. And neuroscientists have studied why. It's that when you're looking at these words and you find a little gap, your brain has to struggle for a second. It actually is kind of failing. It doesn't know what it is at first, and it takes a second to fill in the gap and then figures it out. And that 1 second of struggle makes all the difference in the world. That's why you retain the knowledge on the right-hand side more than the left. You remember things that you learned with some failures and with some mistakes more than the things that were easy. So to learn more effectively, you need to make more mistakes. Doing what you know is fun, but doesn't improve you. So reason number 1 why you need to make more mistakes is learning. Number 2 is that quantity leads to quality. And this comes from a story about a pottery class. There was a university class where they teach pottery making, I guess, and the teacher tried an experiment one day, or one semester, I should say. At the beginning of class for the whole semester, he said, okay, class, I'm going to do an experiment. And I'll stand in the middle to do it right here. He said, everybody on the left-hand side of the class, for the entire semester, you are going to work on just one pot all semester. And at the end of the semester, you'll be graded on the perfection of that one pot. He said, everybody on the right-hand side of the class, you're going to be graded sheerly on quantity. He said, I don't care what you make, I don't care what it looks like, I won't even look at it. But on the last day of class, I'm going to bring in my bathroom scale, and we're going to weigh it. Anybody who has made over 50 pounds of pots gets an A. Anybody who made over 40 pounds of pots gets a B, C, etc. So that's it. So the whole semester, this half of the room was working just on one pot all semester. This half of the room was just throwing pieces of clay onto anything, and they didn't matter, and they were just messing around. On the final day of class, the teacher brought in a few outside observers. I guess they were pottery aficionados that came to look at these pots. And he didn't tell the judges which half of the room the pots came from. And maybe you're not surprised, but all of the best pots on the final day came from this half of the class. Because what they found is that all semester, this half of the class just kept trying stuff and doing things and making mistakes and doing experiments and getting so much experience making pots that they got so much better. Whereas this half had spent the whole semester coming up with grandiose theories, and at the end of the semester had nothing more to show for it than some fancy theories and a mediocre pot. So anyway, so why you need to make more mistakes? Number 1, it enhances your learning. Number 2 is that quantity, just doing things and making mistakes and messing up, in the end leads to better quality anyway. And lastly, I went to music school, to a jazz school in Boston called Berklee School of Music, and there's a common saying in jazz that if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. In classical music, everybody aims for perfection, But in jazz, it's like if somebody gets up there and plays a perfect solo, you kind of go, eh. But if somebody gets up there and they're reaching for new notes and they're hitting some occasional squeakers, you go, yeah, right on. So, and lastly, it's a lot more fun. Thanks.